This video will give you a brief and simple overview of the Son of Sam. David Berkowitz was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1953. David Berkowitz was not his name at birth, however. He was born Richard David Falco to Jewish parents. His biological father was married but had an affair with another woman, resulting in her getting pregnant and giving birth to Berkowitz, making him an illegitimate child. The married man did not want the baby, and neither did the mother, so they gave it up for adoption. Berkowitz's mother had been married to an Italian man named Tony Falco, who ended up leaving her for another woman. That's how the last name Falco comes into play. Once the baby was given up for adoption, a Jewish couple, Nathan and Pearl Berkowitz, adopted the 2-week-old baby and gave it their last name and switched the order of his first and middle names. The Berkowitzes took their newly adopted baby to their apartment at 1105 Stratford Avenue in the Soundview section of the Bronx, which was then a Jewish and Italian neighborhood, and by all accounts they were very loving parents. His adoptive father, who usually worked 6 days a week at a hardware store he owned in the Bronx on Gun Hill Road and then later on Melrose Avenue, worked very hard to support his family. Berkowitz attended elementary school at PS 77 in the Bronx. As he grew older, he became hyperactive and his parents had a difficult time coping with him. By age 12, he was attending junior high school 123 in the Bronx, and it was around this time that he had started setting multiple fires around the borough, something he would continue to do up until his killing spree started. Ironically, Berkowitz dreamed of becoming a New York City firefighter. His behavior got so bad that his parents sought help for him from a psychotherapist. When he was 14, Berkowitz's adoptive mother, Pearl, who he was very close to, died of breast cancer, which was a huge and painful loss to Berkowitz. Berkowitz attended Columbus High School in the Bronx from 1969 to 1971, where he continued his problematic behavior. The other kids complained that he would hit them without any reason. In his last year of high school, Berkowitz and his adoptive father moved to 170 Dreiser Loop in Co-op City in the Bronx. It was around this time that his adoptive father remarried. Berkowitz did not get along with his new stepmother, and as a result, his relationship with his adoptive father and new stepmother grew strained. During this time, Berkowitz formed a volunteer fire crew with some of his friends at Co-op City, and he became an auxiliary NYPD police officer in the 45th Precinct in the Bronx. In 1971, Berkowitz's adoptive father retired, and he and his new wife moved down to Florida, leaving Berkowitz alone in New York. Immediately after graduating high school, Berkowitz enlisted in the Army and ended up being deployed to South Korea, where he was assigned as a clerk typist and where he began experimenting with different drugs, including LSD. He was honorably discharged in 1974, after which he went back to the Bronx to live at 2161 Barnes Avenue and began working as a security guard at John F. Kennedy Airport in Queens. Shortly after, he started working as a cab driver and enrolled in Bronx Community College. He then left that job and started working for an air conditioning company before finding a job with the U.S. Postal Service. He moved out of the Bronx and rented a room in a house at 174 Coligny Avenue in New Rochelle before finally settling down in apartment 7E at 35 Pine Street in Yonkers in 1976. That building has since changed its address to 42 Pine Street. While on vacation in Houston, Texas to visit an old Army buddy, Berkowitz bought a .44 caliber Charter Arms Bulldog revolver, the weapon he would end up using to kill his victims. By the time he started his killing spree, Berkowitz is suspected of having started anywhere between 1,400 and 2,000 fires. A Bronx assistant district attorney went on record to state that he suspected that Berkowitz was also the Phantom of the Bronx, an unidentified pyromaniac that had lit hundreds of fires around the Bronx. Berkowitz had detailed in his diary each and every fire that he claimed he lit, and it totaled somewhere around 1,500, even with some pages of his diary missing. After some of the dates and locations in his diary were cross-checked by officials, they were able to confirm all of them. There is still some debate as to when Berkowitz really began his string of murders and attempted murders. Berkowitz himself claimed that he stabbed 2 women with a hunting knife on Christmas Eve in 1975, but that they both survived. One female stabbing victim was found and identified, but police could not definitively link her to Berkowitz, and the other supposed stabbing victim has never been found or identified, so his claim could not be confirmed. What is confirmed, however, is that in a span of 1 year, beginning in July of 1976 and ending in July of 1977, Berkowitz shot a total of 13 people, killing 6 of them. In addition, Berkowitz left letters at crime scenes as well as mailing them to the press, taunting the police and threatening more murders. Police were eventually led to Berkowitz by a parking ticket that his car received for being parked too close to a fire hydrant close to the scene of his last shooting. After a thorough investigation, the police waited for him to come out of his apartment building in Yonkers and arrested him on August 10, 1977. He was 24 years old and a post office employee at the time of his arrest. He initially claimed that he received his orders to kill from a demonic dog named Sam, but later changed his story to say that he was part of a satanic cult. He also claimed that fellow cult members were his accomplices in the murders and that he was not the shooter every time. Significant evidence was later found to back up these claims by an author named Maury Terry, and this evidence was detailed in his book Ultimate Evil and later in a 2021 Netflix series called Sons of Sam. Berkowitz eventually pleaded guilty to all 6 murders and was sentenced to 25 years to life for each murder. Berkowitz attempted to sell his story to a publisher, which caused widespread outrage and resulted in New York State passing the Son of Sam laws, which prohibited criminals from profiting from their crimes. As of January 2022, Berkowitz is 68 years old, has converted to Christianity and become a born-again Christian, is a model inmate, and is currently incarcerated at the Shawangunk Correctional Facility in upstate New York. If you learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe to support my brand new channel. It will motivate me to make more videos like this one. Thank you.